Good morning and welcome back to my channel. It's about 11:15 on the 8th of January and it's a very cold Saturday in Nottingham. Wasn't it sad this week to lose Margaret Miles Brownwell? She wasn't even that old. I was just quite surprised when one of you lovely people texted and told me. And I guess a lot of her history, which is quite local to where I live, had passed me by. I knew a lot about her, well, I thought I did. And some time ago, probably during COVID, Slimming World podcast actually did an interview with her. Now, I would have said I listened to that podcast. I probably did listen to it, but I didn't hear it. And this week it's repeated as part of the Slimming World podcast. And this time I heard it and I listened properly. And I was astounded to realise that she started Slimming World at the age of 21 at her kitchen table. Not that she started Slimming World because she's a very positive, very go-getting type woman. I mean, her autobiography is called Wild Women Do and They Don't Regret It. I think she was a great entrepreneur, but surprised by her age. I hadn't realised she was only 21. And when she passed away, Joe and I were talking about it and I said, Joe, I haven't got a clue what age she is. And then I realised she's only 9 years older than me. And when you get to my age, it doesn't seem that much. But I am sorry that we've lost her. I think she's done an amazing job over the last 55, 56 years. And I'm hoping that the organisation doesn't change. I don't think it will. But I would say to anybody who's interested, listen to this week's podcast. I don't always follow the podcast. It's not always my thing. It's not always the subject I'm interested in. But I would say listen to this week's. Listen to the interview. Listen to her talking about Slimming World and the psychology of it, and her passion and why she started it. I can't recall from her autobiography why she let it go, but I do know she came back in 1987 and almost relaunched the whole thing again. And that's when it took off, I believe. Now, as somebody who's been around Slimming World since I was about 19 or something, it's the best part of 50 years, I appreciate everything that she did that has helped me. I think it's the start of a new era with Slimming World. Somebody's going to take control, hopefully one of her kids. Somebody's going to carry it forward. And I think it'll go from strength to strength because I think she built a fantastic foundation. Yeah, so basically listen to the podcast if you've got time and listen and hear. Not like I did the first time around when I think it must have just been a background noise. Right, one of the things I've been talking to Joe about this week is very much my future and weight loss, because I'm really conscious that the first time I did this, when I achieved goal, target, whatever you want to call it, I started this journey at 22 stone. I thought I'd cracked it. I thought I'd made it. I thought I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve. And I got to 8 stone 8. What did I have when I got to 8 stone 8 that I haven't got today? It's hard to say, but I felt like I didn't have a purpose. I felt like my reason for losing the weight had very much become the clothes I could buy. I got to the stage that I just loved going out shopping for clothes. So I was in the designer shops and John Lewis and all the nice departments there, and Marks and Spencer's and Next and Whistles and Jigsaw and loads of places, French Connection, because Zara, because I could. And I hadn't been able to for the rest of my life. But I could walk into those places and I could just choose what I wanted, swipe the debit card take it home, hang it in the wardrobe. And I had gotten to the stage that that's what most of my life became about because of my weight loss. The joy of being able to buy and wear whatever I wanted. This time I feel like now I've maybe lost 50% of what I probably want to lose on this journey. I need something else that is more than clothes. When I came back to Slimming World in May last year, the first thing I did, I've got big built-in wardrobes, slide robes, and the first thing I did was I weeded out, well actually no, I threw all my clothes on the bed in a great big mountain, and then I went through them with Joe. What colour's this? What colour's this? What colour's this? What? Just threw everything. And Joe said, that's navy blue with white stripes, bang. That's black with whatever, bang. 75% of my clothes went to the Salvation Army. A lot of them still got the labels on, a lot of them were designer stuff, but I didn't want to be that person anymore that was only about clothes. And I don't want to go back when I get down to that kind of size where I'd like to be around, probably size 12 I'd be happy with, or comfortable with, should I say, not happy. What's happiness? I'd be comfortable being a size 12, but I don't want it to be just about buying another piece of clothing with a size 12 label, or a size 10 or 8 like I was before. Life's got to be about more than that. So I was saying to Joe, what do you think? And he said, well, I think you need something alongside weight loss that actually makes it sustainable, that makes it enjoyable, and that makes you want to keep doing it even when you are the weight you want to be. When you have got the numbers on the scales or the numbers on the clothes labels, you need something more than that. So I had this brainwave and I thought, I need to get with the programme and do some sort of exercise. I love my walking, but I don't walk for weight loss, I walk for fitness. And I need to do something which is extending and improving my fitness. So I had this thought, and my little brain, which doesn't always work very well, decided to order a pair of dumbbells. And I thought, I'm going to start at the bottom and work up. So I ordered a pair of 500 gram. Is that right, Joe?
Yep.
500 gram dumbbells. Here they are, the whole pair. I look at them now and I think, did I think I was that weak? I've worn jewellery that weighs more than this. What was I thinking? I should have started with 1 kilo, I think. So yesterday, back on Amazon, and ordered a pair in the same colour, which is not my colour, but hey ho, a pair of pink 1 kilogram dumbbells. So each one of those dumbbells will be the weight of 2 of these. Is that right, Joe? Is that how you do it?
That's it.
But I need Joe to work with me with weights because he loves the gym and his passion is weightlifting. And so I know that if I engage him to be kind of a bit like my trainer, and I start with the 1 kilogram weights, and then every time I get a little bit stronger I order the 2s and then the 3s and whatever I need, he can show me how to use them. And I'm not going to, as the weights get bigger, I'm not going to do any damage. Because I think what I've learned from Joe lately that's really important is muscle burns more calories. Doesn't it, Joe?
Yeah,
so having
muscle.
Rest, yeah. Sorry?
It does at rest, yeah.
So if you've got muscle and you're at rest, that muscle will burn more calories. But also, if you've got muscle and you're working on muscle, you can eat more, can't you?
Yeah.
It's a sort of cyclical effect for health. And I think what I lack is muscle. And what I'm scared of doing this time, because losing the weight this time, I'll tell you, I'm noticing a lot more loose skin. I never really had loose skin on my legs and my bum and things the first time around. But I'm getting it this time and I don't really like it very much. So my legs have gone down dramatically. I've gone from having like a real bump here to having dead straight hips again, which is something I've always had more of a boyish shaped. I have never had curvy hips, but I've got fat where it shouldn't have been. And that is starting to go now. So I'm feeling the benefit of that. But I think with some weight work and my walking for fitness, that should improve. I'm not sure the skin will ever tighten up because I gained so much weight back so quickly and I'm losing it steadily, not fast. But I don't think when you keep blowing a balloon up, it ever goes back to where it was, especially when you've blown it up a lot of times. So that's been something I've had to think about, and I've had to take myself aside and say, losing weight has to be more than clothes, Jane, because otherwise you'd have kept it off last time. If it was only about clothing, I'd have kept it off last time. Yes, I kept it off for 6 years, but that's not forever, is it? This time it's got to be where I want to go, has to be where I want to stay. And I tell you what, I watched a video last night by a lady called Lighter Mandy. Go and watch her, she's good. She's honest, and she's sharing her journey, and what she shared last night made her quite vulnerable, I thought. But she talked about kidding herself and the things that she's doing that she knows she's doing wrong, and how do you stop doing it? You know, like what she called a duck it Friday. I'm going to say it. Sorry, Mandy. Fuck it Friday. Get weighed on a Friday and then think, fuck it for the rest of the day, it doesn't count. And how do you get over that sort of thing? Well, I used to feel like that about going to group. Joe will tell you the years he took me to Slimming World meetings and come out the meeting and the queue at the chip shop was huge and they were all Slimming Worlders. Or come home and think, can I have what I like for my supper tonight? Because it don't count, I've just got weighed. And this time round, it never entered my head to do that because I know that all the other times round it didn't work. It catches up with you. And I thought it was really, really brave of Mandy to be so honest in her latest video and actually confess not only to the viewers but to herself and take ownership of what she was doing. And I wonder how many of us still do that. Because it used to be what was almost a part of the plan. We expected each other to do that. A lot of us enabled each other to do that. It's like, if you go to Slimming World with a friend, and I have done a lot of times, after we finish, shall we go for supper at the pub? We did that. I used to go to Slimming World years ago with a friend called Janet. And yeah, there was a pub up the hill called the South Notts Hussars. It's not there anymore. But that's where we got weighed. Whatever the results were, we either ate to celebrate or we ate to commiserate. But in the long term, it doesn't work. It's a bad habit. We're not helping ourselves, we're lying to ourselves. And thanks for that video last night, Mandy. It really helped me and it made me stop and think. So, right, this week I found in Marks and Spencer's, tell me what it's called again, Joe? Gold?
Luxury gold shortbread.
Luxury gold shortbread. But it ain't shortbread. It's tea bags. So it's like biscuit tea, but then some. It's like biscuit tea on steroids. It's so, so nice. It doesn't taste as artificial as some biscuit teas. It's got a subtle taste of shortbread. It's not sweet, but it's subtle. And I've actually taken to drinking it black, which I've never drunk black tea in my life. But this has enough of that factor to the smell and the taste of it that it is actually nice black. It's nice with milk in as well, but I've got this dreadful habit of putting too much milk in milky drinks. And I've been examining, I mean, I have oat milk, so it's not a casomorphine. I'm not chasing the casomorphine in cow's milk that makes you feel blissful. Oat milk doesn't do that. But I think I am chasing tea or coffee as a food rather than a drink. So if I make a big coffee, I put 150 mils of milk in it. If I make an ordinary size mug of coffee, 100 mils. And I think sometimes I'm chasing the milk, the oat milk, rather than the tea or coffee. So I have my one coffee a day with the whiskey in for 2 sins, which is when we come in and it's cold. But the rest of the time, I can take my 600 mils of oat milk and turn it into 4 hot drinks. That seems a bit excessive. But if I can try and reduce the milk in my drinks to 100 mils, that way I get 6 hot drinks, and then drink some of this black, and I like it. I genuinely like it. I'm not a person for herbal teas or anything like that. I did buy some raspberry leaf tea, and it's sort of nice, but it's not sort of nice enough to want it every day. This is. I've already had one of these this morning. So my first drink of the day was one of these black, and I enjoyed it. Now, I bought 2 boxes. So there's a box that I'm actually drinking, then I bought this box to put in the basket at group on Tuesday. And that's something I wanted to highlight. Something I'm really passionate about is the quality of what goes in the basket in group. I think as a member, to respect other members, I have a responsibility to put something good in the basket. I spoke about this a long time ago. I won the basket a couple of times in the last few months, and both times I actually said, could the next person have it, because the stuff in the basket I didn't need. A lot of it, you know, I don't want to be disrespectful, but I like the fruit I like. I don't like any apple. I don't like oranges anyway, but it just seems a shame to take it and waste it, so I pass it on to the next person. But if you're going to put something in the basket, it doesn't have to be mega expensive, but at least make it fresh. You know, if you put an onion in, you know, most of us got onions, put an onion in, put a banana in, put an apple or a pear or an orange in, but make it fresh, not something you've had in your fruit bowl for a week. Because I've been to so many groups over the years that you come home when you've won the basket and you think, who wants this scabby fruit? I'm not saying that about the group I currently go to, because I think, you know, people make an effort, but not everybody puts something in. If you're going into a meeting where there's been 30 odd people go through the meeting, there should be 30 odd things in the basket. Let's show respect to one another. Let's make that basket worth winning, and then people might try a bit harder to get it. So that's what I'm putting in the basket on Tuesday. My tea bags. Or Mark's tea bags. Group. Now I went back to my previous group on Tuesday because of the sound quality at the other meeting. So it was my first meeting with Cindy as my new group leader. And it went very well, except I'd lost my card. So I cocked it up a bit. She was very welcoming. She was very nice. She actually acknowledged the fact that I'd come back and got a big cheer from the room, which was lovely, because they are a lovely group of people, mainly women, but a lovely group of people, and I felt like I belonged immediately again. I think it's important to have the right group leader. I've done one meeting with Cindy and I enjoyed it, apart from the daft game that we play in group, you know, where you get 100 points if you lost, for every pound you lost, and you get 50 points for every £0.5 you lost, and that to me is like, I'm going to be brutally honest, I think I always am. That to me is like, don't treat me like a bloody child. It's not party games. That's not what Slimming World is about to me. I haven't said any of this to Cindy. It's her group and she'll do exactly what she wants, which is what she should do. But I think that's patronising. I think that I've seen circumstances in the past where people have had to maintain, or they've had a gain and they know that they're not going to get any points, and if that game's being played, they choose not to stay to group. That's sad, because they're the people who need image therapy, the individual motivation and group experience. And I'll be honest with you, you know, it was fun, I suppose. Well, it depends where you get your fun. our group won 1,350 points to the other group got 650. Does that make them feel like losers? Should anybody ever feel like a loser? Should the lady sitting next to me, who'd had a gain, feel like she didn't contribute to her team? I guess I probably think about it too much, but I just don't see it as inspiring. I don't see it as individual group experience or motivation. I just see it as like, I can see in a new group it's a good idea for the consultant to do it, to get to know the names of the people in the group, if you've got quite a big group. But basically, I'm a bit like, yawn, what's that about then? I just don't like games, and it's not what weight loss is about. For me, it's a bit more serious than playing games. So not to offend anybody in my group if they enjoy it, and as long as it don't happen every week, I think I can put up with it. But that don't impress me much. Who said that? Cyndi Lauper? I don't know. Anyway, it was a nice group. Back to my old people. They're not old people, most of them are younger than me. Back to my old group of people, made to feel really welcome. The leader, Cyndi, did a great job, and I think she will grow in what she's doing. It was only her second week at that group, and it must be nerve-wracking if you're not used to standing up and speaking in front of, 30 people or whatever. You must be quite nervous, and it must be quite difficult for a lot of people. But it's something, she'll grow in experience, and it's something that the group belongs to all of us basically, doesn't it? You've got a leader, but it's our responsibility to make that group grow, to make that group a positive place to be, to make that group a caring place to be. And if you hear Margaret talking on the podcast about what she intended groups to be, we are supposed to support each other. We are supposed to share experiences and encourage each other. And I think that's the beauty of a group. And that's why for me, doing this plan online just didn't work. I need to be a part of a tribe or a fellowship. I need to belong. I need to contribute. It's like almost owning 1% of the group, isn't it? Taking some responsibility. Anyway, silly me, lost my card. I had to wait a while to get weighed because they had to get me up on the system and everything, and I hadn't been transferred back from the previous group, but I did get weighed. And I must admit, those old flickerings of nervousness were still there when I thought to myself, shit, different scales. And then I have to pull myself up and say, don't be so ridiculous. All the scales are calibrated, you've just got to believe in it. So I got on the scales and I lost 2 pounds, which was a great result. Would have been nice to lose £1 the week before and £1 this week. I prefer to spread it out. But if that's how it's going to happen, if I'm going to have maintains and losses, that's fine, it'll get me to the same place. So February, my goal, really, to lose £0.5 a week. I've lost £2 in the first week of February. That's grand. I'm still only eating to lose £0.5. I'm not putting pressure on myself. I don't have great expectations. I have slow expectations of success. I know I'm not going to fail on this plan because I know this plan won't fail me. I just have to keep going. Keep doing what I've always done. When I've got success, it's because I've stuck to plan.
24 minutes.
Okay. Right. That's me for this week. So, group on Tuesday, already looking forward to it, and I'll be back with some sort of report next week. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.